Hello, students. Today we are going to do a very interesting poem by John Dryden, which is called Shadwell. Now, John Dryden, he is a great poet of the neoclassical age, and he is quite well versed in writing satire. And this poem, Shadwell, is a famous satirical poem of Dryden written in the year 1678, and it was printed in the year 1682. It is a satire on Thomas Shadwell. Now, Dryden and Shadwell were at a time very good friends, but their dispute started in the form of literary controversy. Actually, it so happened that Dryden, in his book of dramatic précis and essay, praised Ben Jonson as a learned and a judicious writer, but he also added that he is frugal of wit. Shadwell defended Ben Jonson's wit, and it raised to a quarrel between Dryden and Shadwell. Now, this poem portrays John Dryden as the greatest reasoner in verse. Shadwell is an extract from his longer satire, Mac Flecknoe. Shadwell is named after a notoriously bad poet and playwright who belonged to the 17th century. But he was the poet laureate of England. So when he had this quarrel with Dryden, he attacked Dryden in his satire, The Medal of John Base. This made Dryden even more angry, and Shadwell is the outcome of that anger. Dryden portrays Shadwell as a literary dunce and a worthy successor of Flecknoe. He is the epitome of foolishness. Dryden has mocked Shadwell's physical structure as well as mental condition in this extract. Now, Shadwell will start the poem. All human things are subject to decay, and when fate summons, monarch must obey. So, the poet John Dryden starts and he says that Mac Flecknoe is governing the kingdom of dullness and stupidity for a very long time. And all human things are subject to decay. Every human being who has taken birth in this world is going to die one day. This is the truth, this is the reality. And when fate summons, so when the time comes, when the destiny calls, even monarchs, even kings, they have to obey the call of destiny and they die. Now, this reality Flecknoe understood. So he says, this Flecknoe found, who like Augustus Young was called to empire and had governed long. So, this reality that everybody has to die one day, this reality was understood by Flecknoe. Flecknoe here means Mac Flecknoe, who was in the poem, is actually the emperor of the kingdom of foolishness, but in reality, he was a poet who, according to Dryden, was a very foolish poet, was a very boring poet. So this Flecknoe found, so the reality that everybody has to come to an end, Flecknoe found means Flecknoe understood. Who like Augustus? So we have a simile here when the word like is being used, and Flecknoe has been compared to Augustus. Augustus here is Augustus Caesar, who became the emperor of Rome at a very early age, and he ruled it for many years. Similarly, Flecknoe also became the king of the kingdom of fools. He became the king of the boring poets at a very early age. And he had been governing this kingdom of fools for a very long time. In prose and verse was owned without dispute through all the realms of nonsense absolute. So whether it was prose or whether it was verse, verse means poem. He was owned means he was the emperor without any dispute, without any discussion, and without anybody opposing him. Through all the realms of nonsense absolute. So, realms of nonsense here can be symbolizes the kingdom of fools, or the kingdom of all the poets who are very boring poets, who are very poets full of foolishness. So he was absolute means he was the emperor, sole emperor, and the king of the kingdom of fools. This aged prince now flourishing in peace and blessed with issue of a large increase. Now this poet or this emperor, that is Mac Flecknoe, he was now an aged prince. He had become old, but he was flourishing in peace. He was the emperor without any dispute. Peacefully, he was growing, meaning that the nonsense poets, the boring poets, were increasing day by day. And he was blessed with an issue of a large increase. Means he was blessed with poets, he was blessed with sons in a very large number. That means that his kingdom was growing day by day. The boring poets, the foolish poets were adding to his family day by day. Worn out with business, did at length debate to settle the succession of the state. Now he was worn out means he was tired. He was tired with ruling the kingdom of fools and he had become old. So did at length debate. So he, at the end, debate means he discussed in his mind. He considered, he contemplated in his mind that now I should settle the succession of the state. I should now find my successor. I should now retire and hand over this kingdom of fools to my successor. And pondering which of all his sons was fit to reign and wage immortal war with wit. Now, since he ruled the kingdom of fools, therefore he also had to find a successor who was as foolish as him. And therefore he started pondering, he started thinking, he started contemplating which of all his sons was fit. He started thinking that which of all my sons was absolutely apt, fit to reign, means to rule and wage immortal war, who was ready now to rule the kingdom of fools and also wage an immortal war, means start a never ending war against wit. Wit means intelligence. So obviously his son who was absolutely foolish, his son who was totally full of stupidity and foolishness, that son would have been fit, and that son who would never ever let intelligence enter into his mind, and cried, "It is resolved, for nature pleads that he should only rule who most resembles me." And then in the end, while he was thinking, while he was pondering, while he was wondering which of all my sons is absolutely apt, likely, he cried, "It is resolved," means it is decided. I have decided who is going to become my successor, for nature pleads, because nature says that only that person should become my successor who is exactly like me, who most resembles me. I will do the next part tomorrow. Wait for another video. Thank you.